I served in the Army from 2008 to 2018. I was an Army paratrooper. Ended up deploying to Afghanistan, and afterwards, someone close to me essentially passed away. And I, really reflected on that, and I was like, wow, life is really short. It can really end at any time. And that person always told me, why aren't you pursuing directing? Why aren't you pursuing cinematography? And I was like, well, I'm good at the military, I like this stuff. And it's something that I just had fallen into, from just life in general. And, I loved the military. I loved exploring and this and that. And I was really looking for a career at that point in like CIA, FBI. And that's why I was going to college. But after this incident happened and everything, transpired, I was like, you know what? I need to start like going in another direction in my life, because that is the truth. That is what I really want to do, is pursue that path. So that's what I started to do. I changed my major from criminal justice to essentially film. I went to Cal State University, Fullerton, because it was a good criminal justice school. So I switched it and started learning about film. I really didn't know anything about film. The most experience I had making it was skateboard videos, back when I was a kid. So I really had no understanding of, a lot of different principles, other than just watching a ton of films. In my personal opinion, Hollywood sometimes does not have a lot of regard for people that have that craft, which is in weapons and safety and stuff like that. They sort of overstep that in ways. I think that Mr. Baldwin was definitely, it was not all his fault. It's primarily, in my opinion, the prop person's fault, who was in charge of the weapons department. There's no reason that there should have been a loaded weapon on a film set. A lot of people don't know this either, is like, there is safe ways in operating weaponry, right? In film sets, and you can use, I think personally, in my opinion, blanks. There's no problem with blanks. And the shift in the conversation is, oh, we got to blame the guns. We got to blame the guns. We got to blame the guns and guns. It's not the guns. It's the people's fault. It's their fault. At the end of the day, Alex Baldwin is the producer. He's one of the producers. It all falls on him. I blame him less for actually shooting the weapon, because somebody gave it to him twice over, right? The first AD, and it was also the prop person, who both of them bared responsibility on checking if that was a live weapon or not. So they're both heavily to blame. I don't blame the Alex Baldwin, the actor, as much as I blame Alex Baldwin, the producer. You know what I mean? Because, he was just given the weapon and told it was ready to lock and load. Set is very, can be very stressful on low budget, time and this and that. So I understand that they were probably in a stressed situation. And in theory, he should have essentially checked the weapon for sure. You look at Will Smith, when he operates weapons, he's very, very, very well trained, he's an actor. But he's gone through that training to be an action hero. And he practices trigger discipline. He practices, a flagging. If someone flags him or whatever, he turns it away. Like, he is, in very many ways trained militarily how to operate around and treat weapons. We treat every weapon as it's loaded. Every weapon that it's loaded. That's why we always have the weapons down. We never point them at each other. We don't act like squirt guns. When you point the weapon at somebody, you're supposed to, that is something that you're about to engage. So it's a tragedy. It should have never happened. But yeah, Alex Baldwin bears some responsibility as the producer, less of the actor, in my opinion. That's just kind of stupidity, just in a way. I think he feels a lot of guilt about it. I feel sorry for the guy, because I know it was his friend. I actually have a friend that was best friends with the cinematographer. Try to ask the first AD, or whoever's the safety officer, whoever's the prop master, or whoever's the weapon handler, or whatever that person is, who is bear the responsibility and have a safety briefing. Have a safety briefing, make sure all the weapons are not real. If they are real, make sure that they got blanks or whatnot. I would just say, yeah, like what I've done in the past is made sure that everyone knows that the weapons that are on set are not real. I.e., maybe they might want to educate themselves on weapons, but there's a star chamber in there and there's a bolt inside most weapons. It's, let's say, an M4, which, pulls the pin. Anyways, it pushes the pin, which ignites the bullet. So, I mean, they might want to just be on cue with that person and be like, hey, let's make sure that the weapon that's being pointed at me is legitly not real, and then maybe let's test it out a couple times, something like that, or whatever. Maybe the other thing is, they are the cinematographer, they're not that person, so you gotta have to trust them in a little bit, so you stay in your lane and focus on your craft. Most cinematographers on set are one of the hardest working people, so I mean, you're gonna have to have some trust. It is a fact of life. These things don't happen very often.